Okay.
Alright, you ready?
Yeah. Did you want me to get you a drink beforehand or anything?
I'll be fine for this one.
Okay.
Won't worry about that, the drinks and stuff for our review.
Let me worry about championship.
He's just going to get his championship belt.
I can't just have it here beforehand. It's not safe.
Hello, everybody. You know me. Okay, no, you don't, but you know who I am. I'm Issa J, and alongside me, as always, is
your Smarky Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion of Picking Things, Liam Landry.
Yes, and 30 episodes, man. 30 episodes. How cool is that? We are doing Shooting with the Smarky Family. It's our podcast. That's why you're here, isn't it? Alright, let's
One would hope.
yes, one would definitely hope. And if you do stumble along, and
Unless you're just here for the sex appeal.
and if you do just stumble along, stay with us and just watch, because it's a lot of fun. We work hard in figuring these things out. Yes. So let's just how you been, man?
I had a pretty good week.
That's great.
I would say.
It's better than having a downer week.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still trying to catch up on Game of Thrones. Finished season 4. We talked about that beforehand.
Yeah.
But
that's for another podcast at another day.
yeah, that's why I'm just keeping it to that.
Yes.
But what else?
News about that will come out shortly.
Guess we're gonna. Well, at least I'm gonna have a holiday Tuesday.
Oh,
Some Mardi
nice.
Gras. That's good.
Now I have to
Get
work
to-
a double.
Yeah, I get to sit home. Oh, you know what else I had some time to view is some of like randomly pop up onto my YouTube is some from your other channel.
Oh yeah, Skeleton Production stuff.
Yeah, I found it pretty funny when I went to one of your videos. It was Search for Dracula. And I was like, is that
I have a whole thing for that, and I didn't have the. I tried to do too much too soon. I didn't have the tech I needed. I didn't have the crew and cast I needed, and I jumped into it, and I had to do a whole driving video afterwards saying, "Yep, I can't do the Search for Dracula yet because I don't have the money." Oopsies.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. But the funniest part was that it's like, is there a British accent in this?
Yeah.
I was like,
To open all of my videos, I do the whole "Hello everybody, you know me, okay, no you don't," in a British accent. I'm dropping that except for the Search for Dracula, because the Search for Dracula is supposed to be a super caricature of myself, which is the point. I'm not going to spoil too much of how that series goes, but yeah. Also have a few reviews of some pretty good anime up there. A lot of which you can see because it's on Netflix right now. There's one review I really want to do with my buddy Preston. It's a review of the show Madoka Magica. Great anime, very heartfelt, and it's so bittersweet in the best way possible. Highly recommend it. That and Seven Deadly Sins, but. So no, yeah. I'm surprised it took so long because I've had those out for a while now.
No, I've seen some of your other videos for the reviews. I definitely know of your Ninjago reviews. I've seen some of those. But for whatever reason, this kind of popped up. I didn't see that one, and I was like, "Oh, was this British accent?"
my Ninjago stuff.
Something you seem very passionate about.
I was, because I am a fan of the show, and I was so happy Netflix has all of the seasons except for 10 because that one's currently running right now. All the finished seasons up there. They added them finally. I was like, yay, I could catch up with that. But I caught up with BoJack Horseman first. Finished season 5, which is I'm up to date. Really good show. Also, they added Durarara back onto Netflix, so I'm trying to finish that again because I started it, then they took it off Netflix, and then they brought it back so I can finish it. It's an interesting show. A lot of weirdness going on. I think you'd like it. Has a great voiceover cast. Johnny Young Bosch, Michelle Ruff, Stephen Bloom, Yuri Lowenthal. A lot of the greats.
I know one of those people.
Johnny Young Bosch.
Yes.
Basically, if you've seen Naruto or if you've seen
Avatar.
Who?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, or Bleach. You've heard their voices. Have you ever seen anything with the Transformers?
Which iteration?
From 1995 onward.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen some of it.
Steve Bloom is the voice of Starscream.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, when it comes to like Transformers, it's almost reminiscent of, say, Gundam, for that, because they just have so many different Gundam series, and it's like there's just so many different iterations of Transformers.
I think I've seen 4 series, 2 fully finished of Transformers. I'm a fan. The animated series, so good. The one with the 3D animation, I highly recommend it. That one was really good.
I'm guessing you're not talking about the Wild Force one, or whatever it was. You're not talking about the animal one, right?
No, it was after that.
Yeah, because that was like very early 3D. It was actually pretty good. It was just very early 3D, so it didn't look good. Just the ones at the time, like say like Reboot, for instance, it had the same look as that.
I think Transformers Prime is what it's called.
But let's not get off topic of the wrestling.
Because we're here for Shooting with the Smarky family, which is all about wrestling. We'll get to the geeky stuff later. That's how our week was. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining, and let's jump into our first segment. It's news, but it's outside the WWE. All right, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. It's some
cool.
AEW updates. Well, the big news. There was a new signee. They had released one of their Being the Elite / Road to, or whatever they call it, for Double or Nothing. They released news that they have B. Priestley joining the ranks. So that's a new women for their women's division. We can round that out.
Girlfriend of Will Ospreay?
Yes.
I wonder if that will bring Will Ospreay in too.
Not necessarily. Like we've said with other times that you've talked about, we talked about other talents last week when it was just me and DJ. We talked about them bringing in more Joshi talent from Japan. When we said there, we don't know what the contract is. We don't know if it's just a North American exclusive one or if it's global. Right now, she's also with Stardom, a part of their Queen's Quest stable. So it's not very certain if she's going to still be in Stardom and this, or if it's just going to be just this. That's one thing we don't know about all of the women who also wrestle in Japan. For the most part, we know for the guys, we know the Elite's not also wrestling for New Japan, so it's not really sure. Another big news for the event, Brandy Rose announced that the All Elite Wrestling is going to be partnering with Culture City, which is a advocacy group, a charitable group that is working to make more inclusive events, basically sensory inclusive events. Because you gotta understand, there is a lot of people who, because of mental or other social or developmental issues, they can't always go to these events because it's very loud and all footing for them. So this is a group that's worked with, you know, NFL, NHL, NBA, and now AEW to make sensory inclusive events, to give them spaces and help. Yeah, they're going to give out bags that would help them with things in there to help them. I'm not sure the details of what they give out, but I'm sure if you go to their website, you'll be able to see that. To try to make sure that this is an event that everyone can go to. So it's a great work here. I know I've heard WWE has done a sensory inclusive event, but it was mostly because the arena they were at is already sensory inclusive. But so far, they haven't really gone out their way to do events like that. So this will be the first time a wrestling company has specifically gone out their way to do it. And one would assume for the rest of their time, they're going to have these same type of events. Make sure everyone's inclusive. So yeah,
that's good news. Really cool.
Yeah.
And having a sister who works with autistic people, it's really, really cool to see that people are trying to let them experience a lot more that we get to experience in ways that don't over stimulate their senses.
Yeah.
So, heavy applause to them, without a doubt. And now, also with B. Priestley coming in, it's really big for the company because she's a really big name in the UK and Japan right now. So it's definitely going to be the amount of talent that they are being able to showcase in Double or Nothing already is tremendous. And the feuds and storylines already going on only on YouTube or their press conferences is like next level stuff that WWE could really take account into, because right now all they're doing is just the same story 3 different times, and a bunch of the same old, which is annoying, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. I'm excited for, I think it's in May or April. April? I'm really excited for Double or Nothing, and hopefully it's on a Sunday. I'm hoping it's on a Sunday. Do they have the date completely set up for that?
You do. I can look that up for you when we get into the next story.
Alright, yeah, so yeah, that's... Congratulations, B, and it's really cool to see the sensory inclusive stuff going on. Next story is about the full lineup for Major League Wrestling, and it's for Intimidation Games, and it's pretty big. Marquee matches going on. We have Tom Lawler versus Low Key in a cage match for the MLW Championship. We have the Hart Foundations, which is, I think, Teddy Hart, right? No, is it Teddy?
Well, there's 3. Is the Full Hart Foundation versus someone?
Yes, they're versus MJF and Richard Holiday. The MLW Tag Team Champions.
Considering it's MJF, I would assume that it's going to be it's Teddy Hart and Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Okay, so it is Teddy Hart.
Yeah, those 2 should be the tag champs. I don't know if they do Freebird type rules that would allow Brian Pillman Jr. to also get in. I'm not sure. I haven't seen them utilize it yet, but it'll probably be them because Teddy Hart and MJF have also had a match already in a feud.
So it's interesting that MJF is still being able to wrestle over there. Or is he not the same guy I'm thinking of?
No, he is on a contract with AEW, but since AEW hasn't really started yet.
Yeah.
So,
but no, as I know that he, like the Lucha Brothers was able to say this is really big thing, and MJF didn't. But it's really cool that they're still like, hey, you can still wrestle here, you can still do this thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like there's as much bad blood as anticipated at first, so which is cool. Talking about the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix are going to be in a match against Laredo Kid and Taurus. Don't know any of the other two, but should be a great match because Ray and Pentagon are bloody fantastic. LA Park or La Park or La Parka versus
May 25th.
Mance Warner. May 25th?
Yeah.
Okay. Mance Warner in a death match. That's gonna be intense. And then we have Puma King versus Hijo de La Park, which is La Park's son.
Son of La Park.
Mm-hmm. And they're in a match. And then we have DJ Z. I think that's a very annoying character, if I remember correctly. Versus,
yeah, he is their home guy.
Yeah, versus Ace Austin in a Battle Riot qualifier, so they're getting ready for their Battle Riot. And then Brian Pillman Jr. versus Alex Hammerstone. Do not know Hammerstone, but that's a cool last name.
Yeah, and definitely shows that Brian Pillman Jr. is definitely not the tag partner.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then Simon Gotch versus Ace Romero. I know who Simon Gotch is, and Ace Romero sounds really familiar. I think I've seen him before, but I've definitely heard his name around. And
Ace Romero already beat Simon Gotch, or at least lasted time to beat Simon Gotch's. I didn't told you before how he had like the money thing.
Yeah.
So he actually already won the money from him. So this is another match between them.
Yeah, that's cool.
Ace Romero is actually like a big guy, like almost 400 pound.
Oh,
guy.
okay.
Yeah.
And we have Gringo Loco versus Myron Reed, and Airwolf versus Ricky Martinez. I know Ricky. I don't know Airwolf. But that's also a really cool name. But Airwolf reminds me of like a Power Ranger villain or something. Something Japanese. But yeah, that's our card. And I know Heart Foundation, I know MJF, I know Lawler, Low Key, so this looks like a really good card.
Yeah.
So probably definitely have to watch it when it airs. Whenever it does air. Because it's only the lineup for it right now. And there are spoilers out for it if you want to go see that. But we are staying away from it because I'm going to be starting MLW very, very soon. Mm-hmm. And then, any thoughts on the lineups?
No more. No more than what you had. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yes.
And then there's an anniversary series going on for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And they've had their second night go down. And just gonna go off on the results of it all. So spoilers, if you don't want to know the results before you're seeing it, go watch it and then come back.
And of course, we're saying these results because this is already aired,
yes,
while the MLW has not aired.
Correct.
Yet, so.
And so we have Yota Tsuji versus Yuya Uemura in a time limit draw. I'm pretty sure these two might just be young lions coming into their own.
If it's the young lions that I'm thinking of, because there was like young lions who went on a series of like matches that have ended in a no contest because of stuff. They've actually been pretty good matches. Like the young lions, like they give them a very limited move set very early on, so they have to learn how to put on a really entertaining match from that. And they can do very intense things, like really go on edge. I remember the last one. It's like he was in that Boston Crab. If it is the same guy in the Boston Crab, looks like he was about to tap out. Then just called the time limit right before he did. It was very dramatic there.
That's really cool.
Yeah, if it is the same guy, and if it's not, Young Lions still do a really good job, especially for opening matches.
And it's really cool that they have them actually wrestle, even though they're in developmental. They're like, hey, go, let's see what you got, put on a show. Where at WWE, they'll just keep them in developmental for so long, and either just drop them or put them in and job them out. And it's just like,
I'll put them in a YouTube show.
Or that. And then we have a tag team match between Shota Umino and Yuji Nagata, defeating Rin Narita and Tomohiro Ishii. So You said that this could have been.
Yeah, I don't recognize the other names, so it's probably Young Lions teaming up with the guys.
With the regulars.
Yuji Nagata does a lot of stuff with the Young Lions. That's mostly what I've seen him in with matches. The only match I've seen that didn't have Young Lion was when he was with his tag partner in like the tag league, and also that run that led up to the Super Strong Machine, because he's one of them.
Okay.
Super Strong Machine Justice.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the only time I've seen him not working Young Lions. So that's why I think it's 2 Young Lions there.
It'll be interesting to see when we check it out.
And it's also great when both teams have a Young Lion, because normally like that team's losing because they're the ones with the Young Lion. But yeah.
Then we have Suzuki-gun defeating Ayato Yoshida and Dragon Lee. Suzuki-gun for this match was represented by El Desperado and Minoru Suzuki. Suzuki and Ishii are scary, scary men.
For those who don't know, El Desperado is kind of like his right-hand man. That's kind of how he's looked at in the group. So.
And then we have a 6-man tag match that happened with Suzuki-gun actually losing this one. Suzuki-gun being represented by Taichi, Taka Michinoku, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And they lost to Ryusuke Taguchi, Tiger Mask, and Tomoaki Honma. Basically Taguchi Japan. So it looks like not everybody calls them Taguchi Japan, but some people do. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
The next match was another 6-man tag, and it had Chaos represented by Toru Yano and Yoshihashi with Taguchi Japan member Togi Makabe, and defeating Bullet Club. And it's really interesting that the Bullet Club members that lost was including Tamatonga and Tangaloa, and of course Hikuleo. I don't know who that is, so we're gonna have to check him out.
Little things there. Now I'm thinking of a little bullet that's like the shape of a little cub. But also with that is, I saw an interesting picture with Yano actually having a Taguchi Japan rugby shirt. Like his own Taguchi Japan rugby shirt.
That's interesting.
Just showing the partnership that you can have.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what if like people from Taguchi Japan join, or if people leave Chaos and join Taguchi Japan. We don't know the storylines going on there. We have to check that out and update y'all. Bullet Club in another 6-man tag, actually winning here against Hiroki Goto, Jushin Thunder Liger, and Toa Hanare. Bullet Club represented in this one by Bad Luck Fale. I just totally screwed the word luck up. Bad Luck Fale, Chase Owens, and Taiji Ishimori, the Bone Soldier. Then we had Los Ingobernables de Japón, represented by Bushi, Evil, Sanada, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito in a 10-man tag match, defeating Chaos, and that was represented by Kazuchika Okada, Rocky Romero, Sho and Yo, with Hiroshi Tanahashi as the odd man in that, since he's Taguchi Japan. So it seems like a lot of fun wrestling here, and nothing too big to shake up the dynamics of anything.
Yeah, it seems like every time they had some Chaos, they also had some Taguchi Japan. Even with the Goto, Hiroki Goto, with Liger and Toa. Toa, that's actually the other brother from Girls of Destiny. Toa Hanare. And Toa Hanare and Jushin Thunder Liger are both Taguchi Japan as well, so it's pretty even distribution there from the groups. It really shows them out. I think that was that a thing from last week when I was talking to DJ, or maybe some other time, I was talking about how weird it always seems that good guys can never work together, for whatever reason. And it's just like the villains. It's always so easy for villains and bad guys in wrestling to team up, but then like the hero's always by himself. So it's good to see that the faces, the good guys, being able to team up with each other and to fight common enemies so easily.
Yeah, and it's so interesting how Chaos is more, even though they're kind of tweeners, they're more babyface for the most part, with the exception of Yano, but that's just his charm character.
Yeah.
And
only Yano and Rocky Romero both do the sneaky style.
Mm-hmm. And then you have...
But they're still face characters.
Yeah, very much so.
They do it more for comic relief than anything else.
Exactly. So. And then you have Suzuki-gun and Bullet Club being the traditional heels, with your Los Ingobernables being the tweeners. Mm-hmm. They could go either way, whichever time they like. Depends on who they're wrestling.
Yeah. Like, going back to what I said about the Super Strong Machine, when they faced them for the last Super Strong Machine match, they were definitely going heels, trying to rip off the mask and everything. And yeah. So they definitely go heels. Straight heels and all. And then whenever he won the Intercontinental Championship, Naito did the first time, he destroys it. And then when he's in a feud with Jericho, he's obviously the face in the scenario. There's a lot of... New Japan is a lot of fun. There's a lot of dynamics going on for it. Yeah.
It's almost as if we should get another one of our compadres to watch with us. But he won't for some bloody reason. But yeah, that's the news so far outside of the WWE that we could get to. Not a lot going on outside right now, but a lot going on inside, which is a nice segue because we're on to our next category, which is...
News inside the WWE.
Tag. Yeah. Start it off for us.
Yeah, well, I guess we're going to start with our biggest story first, and that just seems like the breakdown of one Ronda Rousey on Twitter as she's gone full Russo, and you never go full Russo on Becky Lynch. Apparently, she just cannot just really handle it. She's taking it all personally. I think she's taking a lot from the fans personally as well. She's always seems shaked up when she's getting boos from the crowds. Like, she can't handle that. It's just a character dynamic. But anyway, she just on Twitter just really went at Becky Lynch destroying kayfabe and everything by talking about her armbar and how it's inefficient and weak looking and everything, and how she says that she just holds it to make it feel like she's holding the penis dick she doesn't actually have. Becky Lynch, still in character, keeping stride, tries to bring it back by just kind of going back at her with a picture, a photoshopped picture of her putting the armbar on her with Ronda Rousey's husband's face on it, saying, yeah, now that you mention it, it does look like a dick and everything. And the thing that just makes Ronda Rousey even more upset, and have her go and say, I don't care what the script says, next time I see you, I'm just going to beat you down. And it's like, jeez.
And WWE are reportedly not happy about any of this.
Couldn't see why you would ever be happy with any of that.
And let's have like a little mini discussion here on this. Should Ronda be taken aside and talked to about this heart to heart? Do you feel? Because I feel like something needs to happen, because she's taking... Let's take her out of the WWE and put her into the MMA. She was the beloved child. Everyone was loving her. They were cheering USA for Ronda Rousey. Every time she got a win, the crowds would erupt and be super happy. But now she's in a completely different world, and she is getting booed because someone who has worked hard in the wrestling dynamic of it is finally has all of the fans on her side, virtually, is hot-shotting her to the main event. Obviously, we saw that it was a bad idea to begin with, but is doing that now showing just how much of a bad idea it was, and should she be taken aside to be talked to about it?
I mean, she definitely needs to be taken aside, to talk to about it, just so that she can get the understanding that this isn't real, and it's just a character and everything.
Yeah. And
have her just fully understand, the situation, so she doesn't really just go crazy on it. I mean, there's no other way to say it. I know some people have at least speculated that it's fake and everything, and that's like, nah. I mean, unless Vince Russo is back writing for the company, they would never do something this stupid. It serves no purpose for them to ever go and break kayfabe like this on this level. It's not just like they break kayfabe a lot, on social media when they're just being their real selves. But to puts in a whole nother perspective of questionings of why you would do this and what you would even want from this. Because I'm sure they don't want Ronda Rousey to be viewed as the bad guy or the heel in this. But that would be the only way you could get from that. And that's why I don't think they would ever do this.
Yeah.
But she definitely needs to be talked to, maybe sat in the room with Becky Lynch, with I guess gods or something to keep on apart, and just be taught. It's like, hey, this is just kayfabe. It's just a storyline here. No one actually feels this way. Just calm down.
Yeah, we're just we got our characters in a story. This isn't real life because it's obvious that she's taking it way too close to heart, and it's kind of upsetting to see that this is a little bit too much for her to handle.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Hulk Hogan quote that "Don't work this into a shoot, brother."
Yeah,
or as he was, but it's like you gotta just calm down. Becky's a nice person. She loves puns and humor. She's not going around actually trying to insult you or anything, and I don't know. I mean,
because it's obvious. Because when you see Becky Lynch on a lot of shows right now, she's trying to stay in character, and which is really cool because not many people do that for interviews and stuff. But when she was on Fine Bros, she was trying to stay in character. But there are a lot of times where she just broke and she couldn't, which was funny. And it was just like, okay, she's still that lighthearted person that we all fell in love with. She's just trying to put on this face of, oh, I'm not that anymore. Whenever she stood up to Triple H, you could see it because she had to suck in her lips and be like, I'm not going to laugh. I'm not going to laugh. You could see she's telling herself, don't laugh, when she's obviously having the time of her life. So, Twitter, she's able to mask that and really stay in character. But when you have Rousey, who's not really used to that, yeah, she's been in movies and stuff, but she's always playing the same character, Ronda Rousey, basically. She's not really used to it, so hopefully they do talk to them and they don't, what is it? And they don't,
actually come to blows?
Yeah, they actually come to blows. Because that would be upsetting. Let's hope we don't get a Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman interaction where Braun accidentally goes a little bit too far and Brock Lesnar just whacks him with his elbow in the face.
It also kind of puts new spin, or whatever you can say of it, of the idea that people talked about. Like, a lot of people ride on her saying that, like, you started losing matches and you ran away kind of like a baby. And it's like, and you can say, no, it's kind of taken out of context. But then when you look at her in this situation, it's like, maybe it's not putting it out of context.
I know.
Maybe she can't handle not being on top, and why she left UFC. I'm not saying that's exactly what she is, but that's kind of the way she's showing.
Oh yeah, 100%. Alright, moving on to the next piece of news. We had a glorious return. No, not Bobby Roode, but it is Roman Reigns. He officially said he's in remission, which we are super thankful for. He got all the cheers and the acceptance of the crowd. Finally, a lot of morons thinking that this was all a work to get him on everyone's side. Now, you can be a mark, but that's being a super mark. And yeah, he's back, which was really, really cool, which happened this past Monday. So it'd be interesting to see what the WWE have in store for him now that he's finally back.
Yeah. The reports were saying that Dean Ambrose didn't actually come out with him because he was like overwhelmed emotionally by it, because he's just very happy to hear the news. It's good news overall, and it's like he was saying glorious there, and I was thinking like, well, Roman Reigns came out to, and then I would think, man, Bobby Roode would be in the back of me like, damn it, that's all I had.
Sorry, Bobby.
They took everything else from me. Now they took
my
song.
You could tell just how much of a brotherhood they ended up having together when he announced it in October, because the entire Shield walk out and they do their fist bump and they give a huge hug to each other. Dean was completely checked out. Like, you could not read him at all. He was just gone. And Seth, you could read him like a book because he was tearing up and crying. And you could tell that they were not having this. And when Seth came out and gave him a hug, you could see how happy he was. And I'm wondering if Roman was like, went up to Seth and was like, yeah, man, I just have some news I gotta say. It's just updates. Like, oh, yeah, that's cool, man. And they're just talking. And he didn't actually tell exactly what it was. And then when he says, I'm back full time now. Because that'd be funny. I'm probably not. But I could totally see that Seth was super happy to come out there and give his brother a hug. Which was awesome. And it's great to have him back. It's great that he beat it for a second time.
Oh, man. That's just so... He won twice, no need for a rubber match, so let's hope that he never has to worry about this again for him and his family's sake.
Yep. Yeah, we do not want to hear he gets leukemia again at all. Congratulations, Roman. And that wasn't the only big return this Monday. Who else was there?
Well, we had Ric Flair having a celebration for his 70th birthday, wasn't it? Yeah, 70th birthday. And it's like, man, when you just think of it, you thought he would be a lot older considering how long he's just been in the business.
I know.
It seems
and
like
he's 70 years old. That's it? Not 80? Okay.
It's not like 200?
Right.
Yeah. But no offense, of course, by that. It's just, he's such a staple. It seems like he's been around forever. But during that, we had Ric Flair getting attacked. And who did we find out is the attacker? It was actually Batista. Dave Batista making his return.
And a lot of people were just it happened at the end of Raw. So at the end of Raw, I pop up my Twitter, go through the Twitter feed, and all I see is all the wrestling people, all the wrestling fans that I follow are just like, oh my gosh, Batista's back, yay, it's Batista, this is great. And I was like, what? I watched a little bit and I was like, oh, okay, he's back. So that's cool.
Every time you say that, I just want to say, and better than ever. And then, that was Eric Bischoff's theme when he
a couple
made a
other returns, not full time, obviously, was Sting made an appearance for the
Ric Flair celebration. Yeah.
Yes, and Ricky Steamboat.
Wow, it's weird to see that his two biggest enemies were there, but not his daughter for the one day event.
And not only that, but on Tuesday she didn't even bring him up once, which is funny. Which she went total heel. She doesn't care about her father. She's like, whatever. I orchestrated it with Batista.
That could be an angle. Yeah, let's hope that he hasn't been around for so long. Been gone for so long that there's some kids in the audience that are like, why is Drax attacking Ric Flair?
Yeah, but
Yeah, you ever think of that? Think of like how like younger people, react. Like, do you ever think like a younger kid's gonna be like, oh, there's Pirates of the Caribbean, that ride they based off those movies?
Oh gosh. That's why we need to educate these kids to make sure that's not the case.
What if they've been like, oh, Harry Potter, they made novels off those old movies? Or something like that? But it's like, it is weird when you think about it. Because I'm sure there's even situations where we probably don't remember things accurately and may put stuff. Thinking of wrestling-wise, you could look back and say, oh, Tiger Mask, they made an anime off that Japanese wrestler.
But it's
instead of
actually
the other way around, yeah.
And then also, a lot of the move sets and stuff are engineered by some of the greats, and until you actually hear those greats' actual names, and you're like, why is his name the same as this move? Oh, he's the one who created it. That makes sense. Especially with Michinoku. But, yeah.
Why is it called the Stone Cold Stunner? Oh. Yeah.
That makes it. It's now the, talking about another return. 2 more returns happened on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, who actually has the stunner.
Yeah, that's one of the things that made me think of it.
Yeah, same. And also, Matt Hardy. His pelvis is not fused to his spine anymore.
Yay.
I don't think he's allowed to do leg drops anymore, though. He's now doing elbow drops, but he's wrestling again, and that's cool.
The pelvis of being separated from the spine. Yeah, so great returns. Happy to see people doing well and being healthy.
Yeah.
I guess we still gotta wait for Sami Zayn to join Kevin Owens on SmackDown. I would assume they'd rejoin him again. No reason to split them up. For
some reason, they are just like peanut butter and chocolate. They go together so well.
Yeah. They're initially going to bring back Kevin Owens apparently as an everyman type gimmick. In order to, as a everyman face type gimmick to feud with Daniel Bryan. But
Kofi Kingston just blew up.
Yeah. But anyways, going to another news story. Do we have another news story?
Yes, this is our third and final one, and it is about Mustafa Ali, which kind of goes all in. He's returning. He should be back this Tuesday, hopefully, but he is wrestling again on the live house show circuit, and he's been cleared after his concussion. So yay for coming back, yay for coming back for everybody.
That's returns and potential returns.
You know, everybody's. Oh, the other one is there was a massive injury happen, which is Tommaso Ciampa. Luckily, all of his stuff has been pre-taped, so that's good.
So we won't even really seemingly miss him because he's going to be on NXT in the upcoming weeks, just pre-taped.
Yeah.
So, but he has a neck injury, and doctors. He's been having it for a while, but the doctors were saying that, you got to take a break because we got to worry about his health here.
Always.
Neck, very important.
Yeah, he had a scary bump with the bar not too long ago with his knee, and a lot of people were assuming that his injury was his knee.
Especially if you saw that bump.
Oh yeah. So thankfully, that wasn't the case, However, a neck injury is no joke, especially in wrestling. We saw what happened to Takahashi not too long ago against Dragon Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, we're just hoping that he's able to rest up, heal up,
and get ready for Takeover New York.
Yes. Unfortunately, that does put a strain on their call up for him, but they still have Ricochet and Aleister Black to work with.
And Johnny Gargano.
He's also been off since Tommaso's been in.
Really?
Yeah, because they were going to put him in as DIY.
Match?
He was supposed to have one with Cesaro, but they re-debuted the Hardys together.
Oh, okay. That would have been a good match.
No, yeah, totally.
Yeah. It's probably a good match against the ball too, you know. But anyways, yeah. So that's all the news, guys.
All of the news. So
all covered.
Congratulations for coming back, and Tommaso, get better.
Yes.
Just resting, get better. 'Cause I cannot wait to see your match in New York. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna have to take off the entire weekend for WrestleMania weekend because that's like the Super Bowl. That's a holiday for wrestling fans. All right, so now it's time for number 3. Did y'all end up accidentally skipping one last week? I don't remember.
We went out of order. We accidentally went out of order.
Okay. That's what it was.
You weren't there to keep the order, so we went crazy.
It went crazy, but it's the best segment of the week. What is yours, sir?
I'm gonna go with the NXT Women's Championship match between Mia Yim and Shayna Baszler.
So that was a championship match.
I don't know.
Oh.
It might have not have been actually. Probably wasn't.
Okay.
But I don't know. It was a match against the NXT Women's Champion. Be just as good, and it was a real good match. Mia Yim did a good job selling and making it seem like she was in a lot of pain. Being able to get some moves off, but very slowly and hurting herself in the process, and still showing that off. And a really good ending there when it came with the Coquina clutch. Mia Yim got out of it 2 times. Well, no, just think 1 time before by like grabbing her hand, Shayna Baszler's hand, and like twerking it to like get it to her break the lock and all. She was trying to do that for a second time, but she just like wrapped up her arms with wrapped up Mia's arms with her legs. So to try to finish her off, and eventually she did tap out. So yeah, so it it was a pretty good matchup overall, with everything in there, all the selling and the pretty good back and forth, some spots for her to show her stuff, and it didn't have any outside interference.
No, that's
which was good.
Sounds like a fun match from start to finish.
Yes. A lot of times I don't listen to the commentators, so so that's probably why I don't recognize that. I just know it's the NXT Women's Championship, so just go with that. They also had a pretty nice segment where Bayley and Sasha Banks came back to NXT.
I saw the pictures. Yeah.
You should have heard it because they went crazy. Especially they had like 1 or at least 2 women in there that were just like screaming at the top of their lungs when it happened. Because they were so happy. They had a segment with Izzy in there because came back and hugged her, and Izzy was actually crying because she was so overwhelmed. It's like, oh my god, they're in a place where they can be good. For a second, I thought they were gonna be like, wait a minute, this brings back a rush of memories. If I'm remembering that, I hate you. They're continuing storylines. And they did say that they will bring the championships around to Raw, SmackDown, or NXT.
And on the because Isla Dawn, because I follow her on Twitter, she's amazing. Tweeted out that they also mentioned NXT UK. So that's an interesting development there too.
Yes.
But I don't see them defending on 205 Live. I'm just kidding.
No.
They'd probably destroy all of those people on 205 Live. Which is sad when you think of the just how much they treat the 205 Live cast members, wrestlers.
Man, think of like would women be on 205 Live, or like a female 205 Live, and it was like, well, I guess nearly all of them, all the women be on 205 Live. But then I was like, but not Nia Jax, let's do it. Female 205 Live.
Oh man. But yeah. I'm looking forward to see what in fact they do with the tag titles.
Yes. What should be their first feud?
What should be their first
feud? I know
feud?
their first Fastlane are going to be going against
the Samoan Slaughterhouse. Yes.
Yeah. Well, actually, we can if you want to. We can do that for Book It Yourself later.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's save it for then.
Nice.
Yes.
We planned ahead, y'all. We totally didn't just come up with that on the spot. What are you talking about? Anyways, mine is twofold. Promo what? Okay, let's get this out of the way. Obviously, the best thing this week completely is hearing about Roman Reigns being in remission, which is awesome. Not the emotion and the happy feelings from that. Obviously, you can't knock that at all. But in a storyline perspective, the Batista's return was a lot of fun. But the triple threat match between Andrade Cien Almas, Rey Mysterio, and that was a joke because of losing last names. He's just now R-Truth. Actually really bloody good. These guys came to wrestle, and R-Truth comes away with a sneaky win, rolling up Rey Mysterio 1, 2, 3 to retain his title. And R-Truth is being so funny, saying when he was a little boy, his favorite wrestler was John Cena. R-Truth is older than John Cena. and apparently, Carmella sold it perfectly when he said that. It was like, my hero growing up was John Cena. And Carmella was just like, what? I mean, you were wrestling before him.
I mean, to the man's credit, he definitely doesn't look as old as he actually is.
Not at all.
No.
And he can still go in the ring. And he was able to... The youngest man in that match was Andrade Cien Almas. And the other two could keep up with him just as well. That's amazing for these three, for the two old vets. Completely.
Yeah.
I loved the way how it started. He was like, what would Cena do? I'm gonna do an open challenge. I'm bringing the open challenge back. Andrade comes out, and out of nowhere, Rey Mysterio just decks Andrade and runs into the ring first. And he's like, oh, I don't know what to do. Y'all both want this? And then Carmella's egging him on. He's like, well, you like Cena so much, he would have all three of them. Well, I want to make Cena proud. So one's like, oh my gosh, R-Truth, you're so great. When did you get this funny? Now I can see why Vince loves him so much.
Setting up like another week where they actually have like a tag match against like a team of Andrade and Rey Mysterio, and it's like, growing up, my hero was Teddy Long. He was my favorite wrestler. I want to channel the spirit of Teddy Long.
He was my
so
favorite
impromptu
GM.
Tag matches.
You were around when he was GM, true?
No, it's like you say he's a favorite wrestler.
Oh.
It's like he was never a wrestler. He was some manager and GM.
He's great. He's doing a lot of good stuff right now.
Yeah,
which is
I was surprised to see. I didn't watch the episode, but Jack the Jobber and Cultaholics Wrestler of the Week, they had
he was there.
R-Truth on there. And I was like really surprised to see that, but it's good to see that it was a great match.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what's... Oh, did you... I don't know if you talked about it last week, because it happened around last week. But did you see the picture of Neville or Pac's finger?
I think I saw it like after we did the podcast. But yeah.
Okay, that was. Ugh. It
Really?
it was completely bent, and apparently during the match, Pac does this, bop. I was like, oh my gosh! It was in a match against Volter. I was like, oh gosh, no, why?
They should play that up as an angle for Neville versus
Paige?
Marty Scurll match.
Oh, Marty Scurll.
Yes.
Ugh.
Like have Marty Scurll just like break the fingers and he's like instantly, and then he just like breaks it again. It's like and just keeps.
No. They did something like that with Pete Dunne, and Aleister Black, because Peter Dunne does Pete. I watched too much bloody Raw, Going in Raw, because they keep calling him Peter Dune. It's like, stop calling him that. Pete Dunne and Aleister Black at the Royal Rumble had a spot like that, which was pretty cool. Yeah. So that was mine. It was a lot of fun. I highly recommend that match. So it's time. Usually after we have a favorite, we go into the sad part of it. But until WrestleMania, we have taken that out of the podcast, and it is what we want from WWE, where we ask WWE to do something positive and keep that in their arsenal moving forward. It's what we want to see. I'll start this one off since you started the last one off, and it is about the championships. All of the championships. Treat them with respect. I want to see WWE treat them with respect completely, and I also want to see them actually hold them to a higher standard with storylines. I'm talking U.S. title. I'm talking IC title, the world titles, the women's titles, and the tag team titles. I actually want wrestlers wanting that as a goal, not just it being, oh yeah, here's the champion, alright, we won't see you for the next 3 weeks. It's so upsetting to see R-Truth get lost in the shuffle, to see Asuka get lost in the shuffle. And I want to see all of the titles being treated with the respect that they obviously deserve, because championships are a big deal. Like, we treat ours with the utmost respect, and it's just a toy belt from Walmart. So that's what we want. That's what I want to see. Nothing too long for me this week. Yours?
What I want to see is kind of close in relation to that, but it's more overall. I just kind of want to see more writing. If they have to bring in more writers, something we forgot to mention that in the news segment, Dana Warrior coming in
as a full-on writer, and Bruce Pritchard is a full writer now too.
Yeah,
both of them.
I think people need to just wait and see. I mean, you can't judge if she's a good writer before she does anything. But anyways, you can bring in more writers, even more than what you had and what you brought in, to just have storylines for everyone. Any feud you can get. Like, I would just give some of these people that aren't on there, give them like a feud to get into like a shampoo commercial or something. They did that before with Edge and
Booker T.
Booker T, yeah. I was like, it was dumb then, but at least it's something. You have all these guys back in catering. I want to see more storylines, whatever it is. Just put people in feuds just to have matches, or even just putting people in matches randomly for no apparent reason.
Yeah, they could easily adopt a version of the New Japan style. But yeah, I totally agree with you there. So that's what we want to see WWE implement, and just to make the product more enjoyable. Next up, it's our favorite segment. It's how we got the run-in from the hunter that killed Bambi's mom It's book it yourself. So we decided that we're gonna book the next feud for Bailey and Sasha, the Boss and Hug connection. I apologize. 2 weeks ago, I got the name wrong because I said the Hug and Boss connection. It's the Boss and Hug connection. It's still a stupid name either way.
I think it has even worse flow that way.
Yeah, I know. Oh man. So yeah. Well,
I'm gonna take a shot in Doc, and you're gonna say Fire and Desire.
I'm gonna say it's Absolution with Paige coming back as manager.
Yeah, it's definitely not gonna be the Samoan Slaughterhouse.
No, they're just a transitional feud, I believe.
One would hope. But you know, of course, you have Absolution. As you said, they were the longest in there. I know Sonya Deville was saying on Twitter in kayfabe that they deserved the spot.
Oh, 100%.
Against the match, but the thing was, of course, Mandy Rose is fighting for the women's championship. So
I can see Fire and Desire getting the match against Boss and Hug Connection at WrestleMania. Oh, why do they have the stupidest names?
Yeah, but it's but she was saying for Fastlane, but of course, obvious reasons you can't fight for it if you have the women's championship to worry about. But yeah, we'll go
unless
after.
You want to give them all the belts.
Well,
so that means you can bring.
She can't work 2 matches in the same night. It's not going to be good.
I mean, she's no Daniel Bryan. You're right.
Yeah.
You know who could do that though, and still make it good?
Yeah,
Sonya Deville.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Man, I want her to be. When I was so mad because they're like, who should fight for Asuka's championship next? And you see Naomi, Big Red X, Carmella. It'd be cool to see them again, but no, give her a break still. Then there was both Iconics, Mandy Rose. They're missing someone. I tweeted, how about at Sonya Deville, maybe? The one who's the best out of all of them? Oh. When it comes to the women on SmackDown, she is the best. She's the most naturally gifted. She's great on the mic. She's fun to watch in ring. Push her, dang it. Ugh.
It was interesting. I saw like pictures from social media. Is that her girlfriend looks a lot like Mandy Rose? That was like.
Wait, which picture was it? The picture where she was in
It was they were getting ready for the Pride
Crown. No, that was Mandy Rose.
There was one with Mandy Rose, but then there was one with Mandy Rose and her girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, oh, like a blonde looks a lot like her.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of both of them, but she's so good. She's so bloody good, and she has that it factor. So in order to prove that, getting back onto topic, you have Mandy Rose after a heartbreaking loss to Asuka. Sonya Deville comes up and is like, hey, we can still get championship gold, and we can get it at WrestleMania. And out of nowhere on Raw, they just from behind, or even better yet, on a episode of NXT, just go behind, attack the Boss and
Hug. 205 Live.
The Boss and Hug connection, and be like, yeah, we are your next opponents, and not actually be completely owned by them. Did you hear what happened the first week? Tamina and Nia Jax comes out, and before they can even get in the ring, Nia Jax gets hit or put into the bank statement, and they never even got any real heel heat. And it's just like, well, they don't seem like much of a threat. Why do we care? And then last week, Nia had a match against Bayley, which Bayley won clean. And it's like, well, now, what's the point? Why are they facing whatever? So that's why it's Fire and Desire or Absolution. They go in, they attack, and they just have good back and forth. Whenever there's a match, they intervene and get something crazy going on. And then at WrestleMania, it's a huge emotional event. It's halfway through the show. It looks like the Boston Hug Connection are about to win. It's this hard-fought battle, but then out of nowhere, Sonya Deville just pops back up, gives a huge roundhouse kick to Bayley, because Bayley's the one who usually loses things. 1, 2, 3. Your new champions, Absolution. Because of Sonya Deville, not Mandy Rose. Yes, that's put in there with a huge asterisk saying, do not let it be Mandy Rose. Because if you want the total it factor with the look, the charisma, the speaking ability, and the in-ring talent, it's Sonya. It's not Mandy. I'm sorry, WWE. Mandy's blonde. Get over that. It's Sonya. But yeah, that's my booking. What's yours?
I have to fight Corey Graves on Twitter about that.
Oh, apparently Corey Graves' Twitter game is horrendous. So I'm not too worried about it.
Oh, I already told you I blocked him.
You blocked him?
Yeah, no, I got tired of always seeing this stuff. It's like he always just apparently gets drunk and starts ranting and raving on Twitter.
Hello, Zumos, baby. We are discussing today everything. Did y'all upgrade the belt? Help.
No.
Ryan De Alminana, you are completely new. Thank you for joining in with us. No, we did not upgrade the belt. It is still the same belt we've had
it
since
just looks
this
better
run.
on me.
So yeah, just quick scene. Hello, Lexi Dolan. Liam has a belt. Whoop whoop. Yes, he does. Desiree. Unfortunately, I did not recapture it.
Yeah.
At
Now he has no belt for his pants, and they fall down.
Which is I think that's a slight on to. Is that just for the championship, or the fact that Dean Ambrose a couple weeks ago wore 2 belts?
No.
Okay.
But that was pretty funny. He wears 2 belts.
Yeah. All right,
but
your booking.
Yeah. Booking here. The real problem is they don't have a good pull for anything as he goes. So I think one of the best challengers for him would be, as things go on, after Simone Slaughterhouse and after Io versus Bianca Belair, would be Io and Kairi Sane versus Becky versus Bayley and Sasha Banks.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would just be an obvious feud. They could just really come out, like after like Io versus Bianca Belair, maybe Bianca Belair and someone else teaming up against Io and Kairi Sane in a big match.
Mm-hmm.
They could come out and say like, we're very impressed by you guys. You remind us a lot of ourselves. And then they would have, another match. Well, I'm sorry, they would have a match together. And then you can even build it up. I don't know if they would want to do it. I guess they could. Like, do it the same weekend as WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Do it at TakeOver New York. But that would be, of course, a really big match that they can have for it. And I can feel one thing that you can do to protect it is to have Bianca Belair kind of interfere with it.
Mm-hmm.
To still kind of push that rivalry as well. Just so you don't have Io and Kairi losing outright.
Yeah.
But of course you don't have Sasha Banks and Bayley losing. And you can just build it off with Bianca Belair being like, I was still amazing in that match. You have the other person, she was teaming with lose, of course, to make it have more sense. And it's like, they're the reason that I lost that. I'm still amazing. They should have come to me and challenged me for those titles. I could have taken both of them on and be the sole tag team champions. Just what Bianca would say. So you'd still build up that jealousy, and that's what leads her to interfere with the matchup. But I mean, it just kind of writes itself. People go crazy for it and would love it, and it'll just be a great match overall.
Yeah, because the Sky Pirates are just a fun tag team already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's two really good situations for the championship. Obviously, I'm way more biased towards my pick.
Yes.
I don't understand why they're putting so much money on Mandy when obviously the star would be Sonya.
I wonder why.
I mean, dang it. Anyways.
I mean, same reason why kept telling you, although they put a lot of stock behind Lacey Evans. And I still leave that. Like, I think it's a stupid idea to just have her do the whole walkout thing. But it shows how much Vince McMahon
because it's putting her on camera, where they could easily just keep her off camera this entire time.
And of course, Vince McMahon's idea is, look how hot she is. Everyone will love it, just seeing her go out like that, and want to see more, and be upset that she's like going back. But
there is a theory going around where each and every time she's getting closer and closer to the ring. So people are thinking that she's going to end up inserting herself in a storyline very soon. A lot of people think it's going to be for Asuka's championship already. I might have read that somewhere. Oh, she was in the other picture too. It was Iconics, Mandy, Lacey, what's her face, and Carmella. Naomi and Carmella. Again, like all 6 of them, someone's missing who should be there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think, because every single time she gets closer and closer to the ring, in this last couple of weeks, she's actually taken off her gloves and gone back.
Still,
I think she's gonna, after Asuka wins, she's gonna actually make her way all the way, because she interrupted a match between Mandy and Asuka, which is why Mandy Rose got the win and was able to challenge her for the championship at Fastlane. I think she's gonna, after Fastlane, after Asuka wins, comes in and beats down Asuka, heals it up, and that's your match for Mania.
Yeah. What was I thinking? Oh, that's definitely WWE totally not holding women back is not right. Is that right page? That's totally just the fans.
Yeah, I mean, we are told, because apparently we have the authority now, and that's obviously what we're wanting and doing.
Did you catch in the last week's podcast when I went over that thread about that? Like, someone put up a thread on Twitter responding to Paige about all the times WWE held women back.
I missed that part. Yeah.
It was even to the extreme circumstances where Michelle McCool and another woman, it was Michelle McCool being interviewed, she was saying, it was quite a few from Michelle McCool, she was saying that the woman she had a match with that was recorded, she came back and said Vince McMahon wants us to go out and do the match again because he said that our punches looked too good. So he wanted our punches to look worse.
Wow.
Another time Michelle McCool was saying, like, she got yelled at backstage because she just had a match against Melina, and another wrestler said that you're trying to show off the men and make them look bad, and that they shouldn't be wrestling like that.
I mean, that doesn't make us think the men are any less of wrestlers.
And,
the women are fantastic.
And Chris Jericho actually came to the defense backstage during that and said that the men should just perform better.
I mean, bloody Chris Jericho being with All Elite Wrestling makes total sense because he seems like a progressive kind of guy.
Yeah, so that was crazy. A lot from Michelle McCool. I think another one was she had kind of like Mandy Rose's finisher is now.
Mm-hmm.
She had that, but they told her it was too devastating for a girl, so she had to get rid of it.
That's so
it was like
dumb.
It was a very long thread. The best one was Molly Holly. She said that she was in a WrestleMania match for the title versus hair match. She said that she pitched the idea because they were not going to have a women's title match at WrestleMania, and she told him that idea, and that was the only thing that got him to put it on. Wow. So she had to put up her hair because she got shaved for that just to have a women's title match on WrestleMania.
Dang. Yeah, I mean,
but
it's obvious, and we've seen the truth all the time. It's not. You know what I mean? We've. I'm trying to say the right word here, but we know it's the company and not the fans.
The fans. Nope. But anyways, that was just us booking, and then tangent.
You're going on a little tangent. I mean, it's our podcast. We get to do what we want when we're talking about stuff we enjoy.
We can even cry if we wanted to.
Exactly.
Yes.
You hear that, Vince? Even though we are men, we are still allowed to cry.
And wear scarves.
Exactly. And sometimes
sneeze.
not have as good as matches as a woman. Because
yes.
they perform very good.
The scarf situation, if anyone didn't know, was that when Chris Jericho first met Vince McMahon, apparently Vince said to other guys after he left and said he was wearing a scarf and was saying like, look at him wearing that scarf and how effeminate he looks. So he was apparently really upset by that. But anyways, let's get into our next segment.
Alright, and it's, we've had 5 segments go down already. Let's see, we got our 2 newses. Our favorite.
Best, worst.
What we want.
Book it. Yeah, 5
Book
segments.
it. Yeah, so next is...
What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think?
It's where we ask our fellow compadres one question within the wrestling landscape. What do you think? And mine is... I think I have a pretty good one. It's going to be... What do you think is the next step for women's wrestling? And I'm not just talking about within the WWE. I mean full on to get them that national spotlight that they've been deserving for quite some time.
I think it should still make a lot of press with the triple threat that they're planning right now. Charlotte, Becky, Ronda Rousey. I think that's going to be a lot to put on there. And it will be on a very big stage, and it's getting a lot of attention. I think if they just keep going with that, if they have a run, that would just be a big thing for women's wrestling in America as a whole, to have Becky Lynch go on a really good run, and especially if they can get her into like the Good Morning Americas and things like that, and be the face of the division. It'll help women overall. But I think other parts is just, I don't know. One could definitely hope the expansion of wrestling, especially from Japan, into it. They already have, like Stardom has their network. They probably have other ones like that. I don't know if they go in English, but maybe if they take a direction like New Japan has to expand into American markets, that can be very helpful because it's already a pretty big thing over in Japan. So, yeah.
That's a huge news piece that I completely forgot about. Apparently New Japan is curious about working with women now. I can see them and then I could kind of Show and Yo were at a Stardom event and watched that live. But I can totally see New Japan actually trying to buy out Stardom and have that New Japan Pro Wrestling Stardom and New Japan Pro Wrestling as the men's. I don't know yet. We still have to see more about that. But that'd be it. So, yeah, I'm interested to see where women's wrestling goes from here. Your question?
My question is, and it kind of went with that because I didn't want to say the triple threat main eventing there, because my question is, with the idea of Seth Rollins possibly winning the Universal title and possibly having a big Shield moment with Roman and Seth, and then the other side, Kofi Kingston possibly winning the title, possibly having a moment with the New Day.
So basically my question to y'all last week, my thoughts on it.
For the most part, what do you think is going to be the main event?
Okay.
Because your question was more about, do you think there's going to be too big of a moment? Mine's more like, what do you think should be the final moments?
The final... Oh, man. I feel like because they brought Roman back already, he's back. Yeah, waiting until WrestleMania is okay for the Shield thing, but I don't see that. They like to pull triggers way too quickly. Premature celebrations, so I can see the Shield reunion happening before then.
I mean, I'm not saying necessarily reunion, but
I
just the celebration.
I understand.
Because that even could be Dean Ambrose's last night. We don't even know.
Yeah, true.
There's so many emotions there.
I think... It's really hard to... Unfortunately...
Think if you had, like, all the Shield brothers hugging, like, Dean Ambrose is, like, grabs a mic and is like, I'm going to say, because of this moment right here, I'm staying. I'm going to re-sign my contract. I'm going to extend my contract.
Then that has to be the main event. if something like that happens.
Yeah, well, we don't know.
But it's just...
I know what you're thinking. It's like, can't they just have like all three of these matches going on at once?
No, that'd be way too distracting. I would have to say...
all the celebrations at once.
It depends on what you want to do. If you want to have the women be a credible division, it has to be that triple threat. It has to be. With Becky winning. Because if Becky doesn't win, then it's all for nothing. And everything they built up, they already destroyed. So, it has to be the triple threat with Becky winning. That's the only logical final moments in order for people to be like, okay, something new is about to happen. Something great is about to happen. But we've seen time and time again where Vince will just show up late to an event and change the entire show on a whim. Change a decision like that. So I would say Becky Lynch's solidification of she is the main event. She is the division. She's the face of WWE. Obviously, again, I am a massive Becky Lynch fan, so that's not hard for me to say. But what's hard for me is that what's bigger? Shield having a final moment potentially, Becky being the face of the company, that's loud reign, or the first ever black man becoming the WWE champion, being the face of the WWE championship.
Say the weakest one of that is the reign part. the other ones are definitely good contenders.
Yeah, so...
Oh, and real bonus points to if Kofi Kingston comes out to WrestleMania and he comes out to the Sweet Victory SpongeBob. Like they just had like that asteroid just like they did in there, but they actually play the full thing. They come out dressing like band characters.
So yeah, one of them already has a musical instrument.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens when it comes to that main event. You know what I mean? But I guess for the purposes of the segment and our show, Becky Lynch. I feel like she's done the work and she has earned this moment. Not deserves it, but earned this moment. But yeah. So it's our final segment of the show, the mailbag, where we answer questions that we have either received or gotten from other shows.
I've heard one.
Cool.
Well, mostly just another question outside of wrestling. But did you see the failed worm attempt in that MMA? Like it just happened last night. When the guy won very quickly, I believe it was at least first round. I think he tried to do a worm, ended up hitting the ground so hard he dislocated his shoulder. He seemed very okay about it, you know, just mostly laughing at himself. Hopefully he kind of heals soon.
Yeah, that's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Poor guy, I guess.
Yeah, first started out from Meltzer and then I saw it on SportsCenter. Yeah, maybe he can at least get a sponsorship deal out of it.
Yeah.
Especially if he ends up missing any fights with time to prepare to fights either, you know, so he doesn't lose money.
That's almost like the what's his name? Titus O'Neil. He's the Titus O'Neil of the MMA right now.
Yeah, maybe Otis Dozovic, well, Otis as he's called in the main roster, can
yeah, they've lost their last names too.
Yeah, they had such good names too. All Night Tucker Knight and Otis Dozovic.
So just wait until Dijakovic comes into the main roster.
Yeah, it was, you saw Big E's tweet where he was like, where someone was like, I'm waiting for you to team up with Aleister Black and guys who lost their last names, and he tweeted back at him, and it's like, he's already black to me.
Nice. It's Aleister. Oh, if they got rid of Aleister Black, that would be so bloody stupid. Apparently, Michael Cole thinks he's Moody.
Well, what's worse, Moody Aleister Black or yacht enthusiast Kari Sane? Because that's what he said at the Royal Rumble. It's like, she's really into yachting. Like, she has a pirate gimmick, Michael Cole. That's what... I mean, she's done sailing, competitive sailing, but...
yeah, I mean, Asuka has her own hair salon in Japan. Doesn't mean you go and say, oh, she's a hair color enthusiast. That kind of diminishes her mystique. Same with Kyrie. You don't go, yeah, she's very into yachting. Shut up, Michael. Just shut up, Vince. Just shut up, Vince. Please. Stop talking in their ear. Because you can see just how great 205 Live commentary...
Go with, like, Vince McMahon going, like, what? It's like, what's her gimmick? And it's like, she's a pirate. And it's like, Japan doesn't even have any Caribbeans.
Oh my gosh. Would he be that out of touch with reality?
Guy didn't know what a burrito was. If you believe the story, yeah. Yeah, like someone like mentioned burrito and it's like, what's a burrito? And it's like, what do you mean what's a burrito? You eat them all the time. And he had to like explain what a burrito was, and it's like, oh, that's what it was. And it's like, but yeah, he ate burritos, but he never knew what the name of it was.
Oh yeah, I just want like a Mexican wrap.
The ones with the rice and the beans.
Yeah, that one. So, a burrito? No, just a Mexican wrap. I don't even know what a burrito is.
I speak American, damn it.
Yeah, so...
Do you think Ricochet goes to Rick or O'Shea?
Luckily, Ricochet has only one name to begin with, so he's fine.
He somehow gets a last name just to avoid to be taken away.
Ricochet Langston. He takes Big E's old last name.
I can see Big E's tweet now. It's like, oh, that's where it went.
His Twitter game is great.
Yeah.
I love following the New Day on Twitter.
Did you see the one where he's like, it's like the last time we were in Mumbai, Kofi Kingston was working off a sprained ankle. This time he was working off of having his heart ripped out by harpies.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Oh man. Man, the New Day is so great.
That actually reminds me. There was a funny part in the movie that we're gonna go into a review about.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not really anything regarding the review. It's just to say that they had to do some tapings in an actual after, I guess, SmackDown or Raw, whatever one it was. I guess Raw. But the funny thing was is that they had people there, and the first thing I noticed was like a kid with like a unicorn horn, and he had like New Day shirts and Enzo Amore shirts.
That's funny.
And it's like, oh, whatever. I mean,
the New Day were there at the time.
Not together.
Wait, which one?
They weren't.
Because
they weren't a team at that point.
Because I think they were the host. No, they weren't the host of that particular one.
No.
Wait, what year did the Hardy Boys come back? Because that's when they were the hosts.
It was
like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I think it was the first year we started having a competition for this.
It was. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was the one in San Francisco, or
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So they weren't even around at that point.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Or they were heels at the time. So,
it wasn't even that.
Oh wow. Okay.
No, because at WrestleMania 30, I believe at WrestleMania. No, it wasn't that. I'm trying to. I think at least at that point, Xavier Woods might have been there, but with.
Because he was on NXT at the time, right?
I think at that time he. No, he probably wasn't even there. Actually, I was thinking he was going to be with Brodus Clay, but I think that even came later.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was just funny. It's not. You can't really blame a movie for that. It would have been way too difficult to like re-act everyone and get new actors and stuff. But
I didn't even notice that. I noticed long hair guy though, long hair fan. I noticed him. I was like, hey, this long hair fan.
It's like he really is in everything. I'll bring this back. I had brought this as a question for last week. Mm-hmm. I'll bring it back since you weren't there.
Yeah.
It was with that being there, being that biopic of Paige. Which wrestler would you want to see a biopic next?
I know who I don't want to see a biopic of next.
So Nia Jax?
Well, she hasn't really done much. I mean, like a proper wrestler who had the most tragic end to a career anyone could ever have.
What?
Chris Benoit.
Well, I mean, they're not going to do one of that.
I know they won't, but I'm just saying I don't want to see it. I don't want to see a respected wrestler go crazy and murder his family.
Be like an interesting tale, actually, like a darker wrestler. Ever seen The Wrestler?
I haven't seen the movie, no.
It's a good movie.
I would have to say the one I really want to see. Drat.
I would say like our definite top pick was one that would actually be a biopic, but in kayfabe of The Undertaker.
Yeah, I remember hearing you talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
that would be funny.
Yeah, But yeah.
Mine would have to be, and it's obviously out of. I'll do one in kayfabe, one out of kayfabe.
Yeah.
The one in kayfabe to be a sequel to The Undertaker is King's. Because that'd be interesting. The devil's favorite demon? How did he become a demon? What was the story there? That would be a fun in kayfabe biopic.
They have like a scene from like Spawn, where he's like as bad graphics, like speaking to the devil.
Let's not go that far. Oh my gosh!
Have you ever seen that movie?
I haven't seen all of the movie, but I've seen a lot of reviews and I've seen a lot of clips, and I'm just like, oh, like.
They're actually making the remake of it.
Oh, cool! I want to see the Spawn animation.
The director is the guy who actually created it.
Oh, Todd McFarlane?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But the real problem is it has a very low budget for what it's going to be. Like below 20 million, they were saying, and it's like insanely low for the amount of like CGI you would have to do for it. That's why most people believe it's going to be a bomb.
Get Guillermo del Toro or Robert Rodriguez. They're great with low budgets like that.
Yeah, but Todd McFarlane, I think, wants to be the director. I think they already started recording doing filming anyways.
Okay, well, we'll see. Out of Cape, I would actually really like to see Bruno Sammartino, one of the old greats, just to see their lives. That would be really cool, just to get a better respect and understanding of where wrestling was at the time to where it is now. Maybe some of the Mexican wrestlers, Eddie Guerrero, even his family and stuff, or some of the Japanese wrestlers. I'd like to see.
And it's actually gonna have Jamie Foxx as the main character. I thought it was him, but I just wanted to double check that before I said it.
But yeah, those Kane and
in real life, an Eddie Guerrero would be really great. Mm-hmm.
Talk about another tragic loss to the business.
That would actually mirror the wrestler pretty well.
Not really.
Oh, yeah. I guess that would be given away in the end. And were you planning on seeing it?
I've already. It's been so long. If I haven't seen it now, if I get spoiled, then that's my own fault.
Oh, okay. It doesn't. It's a failing career. He definitely has an alcohol drug problem.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a point where a doctor actually tells him, "You can't wrestle anymore. It'll kill you." And basically, he's like, "I can't get away from this. I can't get." Because that's kind of his drug is wrestling itself as well. So he goes into one match, and it's kind of mostly ambiguous, but you understand that he dies in the ring because his body can't take it anymore. But he kind of goes out the way he wants, but it's a real tragic ending as well.
Yeah.
So Eddie, of course, didn't go out in the ring, but it's still a tragic ending.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say with the drug problems as well.
So yeah, one really cool one is which wrestler, other than the obvious answers, of course, which wrestler would be one of the biggest moments to hear that they're back after their injury? And I'm talking about an injury that took them out of commission for a while.
I think maybe like an Edge. Because, I mean, that was a pretty heartbreaking thing when he had to say that he had to retire.
That brought him into face for life territory.
Trying to think.
I know the most recent one, she just had a movie.
And, yeah, Paige would be big too. Hiromu Takahashi. If you said he made his return, that would be a real big thing.
Yeah, I would have to. If you're like, oh my gosh, Takahashi's back, I'd be like, I forgot your password. I need it again because I need to see this. He is such a fun character. He's so cool. He's so mental too.
Yeah, his first move coming back would be a suicide dive, where the guy like dodges and he just goes like head first into the barricade. Because that sounds about right.
That does. Like, I've only seen 2 matches with him, but that sounds exactly like him.
Yeah, I told you that time when the Best of the Super Juniors final, where was it even that one, or was it like their rematch after that? No, it was that one. Taiji Shimori versus him, where he gets like power bombed down concrete steps. That is ridiculous, but I hope he returns.
Yeah. I think another one would be Sting, just to see a final moment with him.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of old people out injured. And, like, definitely ones that you won't expect to come back. Like, we know Sami Zayn gonna come back eventually.
Because I'm pretty sure it's already been reported that he's cleared.
Trying to think of any wrestlers who were really taken out of their prime, too. Like, especially newer or younger guys.
Tyson Kidd, maybe?
Yeah,
Not really sure.
I mean, they just haven't really used them for anything. And I feel like he's probably in a better position now as a producer than anything else, because he's at least getting work done and he can at least say he's producing good matches. So.
Yeah, it's up in the air. Oh, Tegan Knox. We really want her to come back.
Yeah. That was so sad. Did you ever go and see that?
No, I couldn't bring myself to watch it.
It was so sad. You shouldn't watch it.
Okay. But oh my gosh, she's been on Twitter a few times too. She's funny. She's funny. She looks like she's recovering pretty well, so we just want her back. And then team up with Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
To get those championships.
Funny you were saying it's funny. It just made me think back. So that was such a funny moment with Dakota Kai on Twitter. She took a picture. She got this like blanket map of the world, and she's from New Zealand. But she went in and saw that New Zealand got cut off from the map.
Poor New Zealanders.
Those Kiwis.
Is there any more questions out there? Oh, I have a question. What do you think of the Going in Raw math that they've been doing?
I don't know if I...
So basically they're trying to determine who's like the best wrestler and stuff like that.
Oh,
so they have like they give 1 out of 10. They give points on legacy, kayfabe, and being good, which is your look, your mic skills, and your in-ring work, and that's its own 3 point. So they do out of 10 for that of each thing. Then they divide that by 3 to get the average. And then they get the other 2 out of 10. They divide that by 3, and it determines on how good of a in-ring.
I guess they get the other 2,
are.
then add them all together, then divide by 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they figure out being good first, which is the in-ring, on mic, and their look, and then they divide that by 3, and whatever they get there, they put that to the side, and then they do the legacy and then the kayfabe. and then they divide those 3 numbers together by 3, and that gets the overall score. And apparently their number 1, who's the only one who's been past the 9, is John Cena. He is the ultimate wrestler.
When it comes down to it, there's questions about that, like kayfabe, and then you say your legacy. A lot of times that can overlap, because if someone has a good kayfabe career, then that just makes a legacy for them. Like John Cena's legacy definitely comes from his kayfabe career, or Hulk Hogan.
And they also give extra points for, like, because he does so much with Make-A-Wish and stuff outside of wrestling as well with his legacy. Like his legacy.
But did they give extra points for Pastamania?
I don't think so.
Then that's unfair.
But yeah, sometimes they did one recently with it's not Jim, John Morrison, and I'm just like, and they're like, oh yeah, he's terrible in the mic. He's like, well, he's not that bad. And he's like, oh, his look is horrible. It's like, oh yeah, whoa, his look is amazing. I don't care if it's if his look is the same as 2007. It is amazing then. It's amazing now. Y'all are just biased, you long hair haters.
Yeah, the idea of having look in there as well is, and even my skills also puts into question, because I mean, you're gonna go to someone like, say, an Undertaker and take points off from him because he doesn't really talk on the mic that much, when it's like, with the character shouldn't talk on the mic that much. It's like, it's a lot of tricky things, because I mean, it's not like everyone, there's reasons to not talk on the mic. Then you have like look, and it's like, what is the look? Unless you have like an actual point that you're going off of, going off of your preferences, common preferences. Those look stuff can change from era to era. That's not really tapped into the zeitgeist if you go in that.
Yeah, I always think that it's based off of their opinions, obviously, but sometimes it's fun and sometimes it's cringy.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like your opinions. Like, I prefer the look of, say, a guy like Aleister Black because of the way he carries himself. Makes him seem like an intimidating wrestler, and that carries a lot of weight in there. But then at the same time, you also can't. It's like it's so difficult to compare this, because like, if Ricochet looked like Aleister Black, would it make any sense or even be good? Because I mean,
Ricochet was just the high flyers with the same tattoos. It looked very
and even like carrying himself in the same way. And it's like, well, no, Ricochet is this guy, Aleister Black is this guy. You can't compare them because it's two separate things. It's almost two separate genres or something to go up against. Actually, kind of reminds me of something from pretty while back. There was a lot of the craze over people being upset about the new Thundercats remake, because of the way they look. And I originally saw it on Kenny Omega retweeting it about comparing it to Japanese anime. And it's like, it's not really a fair thing to compare. And it's like, you can't just say that it's being lazy, because they're trying to go for a different style that's supposed to be more childish and humorous. You can't take like these like really realistic looking anime characters and put it into like some fun childish things. Like, if you drew SpongeBob SquarePants in an anime style,
it would look very off.
Yeah, the comedy wouldn't work that way. Anime has its own style, and then even in anime, there is ones that look simpler because they're trying to go for a different aesthetic. So I think,
and there's different styles of anime, as different genres within the animation of it, like chibi versus the serious.
So I think like it's kind of related to that. You can't just say something's worse off because they're going for a different style, and that style may just not work with it. I'm sure they can do to look just like the Thundercats, or even better than the original Thundercats. It's just it won't necessarily be as good. I saw a good comparison of, say, someone redrew the Red Hood comic book cover in the Batman the Animated Series style, and you can see that's far more simplified than it is on the comic book. And if you just think outright, then you may not be as good. But then you should just remember, it's like, well, no, Batman the Animated Series looked great.
Mm-hmm.
It just had to go with a different style and a different motif and everything. So it's impossible to compare things, and it's impossible to compare wrestlers because one style may not work for the other. If Aleister Black looked like Hulk Hogan, he wouldn't carry the same weight as he does looking like Aleister Black.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that because I feel they would give Aleister Black a poor, when it comes to the look factor compared to if they're giving John Cena high praise for those type of things. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally see where you're going. Like I said, it's fun sometimes, it's humorous sometimes, and other times it's just cringy, and it's obviously their own opinions.
Yeah.
Because even, it's really funny when they're trying to debate on a number to give, and one guy gives one and the other guy gives something else, and they have to just agree on one of the numbers together, and then he's like, oh, but I don't want to give you that number, but I guess fine, whatever. It's like, oh my gosh, it's, you don't like this person better than the other, you like this person more than the other, I get it, whatever. But yeah, final question you found?
I don't know. Well, I said preferred look. What would you say is like a wrestler's look that you would go for? Like, I think is the best look. I know you said John Morrison.
Yeah, I love John Morrison's look. The main ones for me is like D. Brian Kendrick, Paul London. Love the way that those guys look because it's just classic dude with long hair. It's basically what I am.
Is there a trend?
I really dig the style and look of old Shawn Michaels. Not old Shawn Michaels as old man Shawn Michaels, but young man Shawn Michaels. Who's long hair Triple H? He looks really cool. Drew McIntyre looks bloody awesome
with his long hair.
Yeah. There's one guy I'm trying to remember his name. It's just not Adam Cole. He looks really cool. I mean, I don't think there's a trend going along here. I'm not sure. Undertaker, when he has his hair long, he looks really cool. There was someone else in my head. I just lost. The Young Bucks. They look really cool.
Their long hair.
Yeah, they have long hair.
Yeah, no, I'm more reacting to something I saw on Twitter.
Okay. Not my... Oh, and Kenny Omega. He looks bloody beast mode. And he also has long hair.
Yeah.
Oh, and every single person from LIJ. They look so cool. They're just wild, out of nowhere looks.
I saw a picture
They're
of them
awesome.
with like them in their suits holding weapons. Did you see that one? And
I need to see that picture.
Sonata starting off pretty simple with just like a katana, looking like a boss from a Yakuza game.
That makes sense.
But then,
that makes sense.
But then as it like kept on going, like the weapons just got like bigger and crazier anime style. But
nice.
too, you got the evil scythe, and someone comment underneath it was saying like, "Oh, evil, he just probably showed up to that with that." And I'm like, "Oh, is that the motif we're going? I just carry this around with me all the time." But it's like the craziest.
That's why I love LAJ. They're my favorite.
Craziest like anime / Super Sentai weapons.
Yes.
The thing I was actually reacting to negatively was Major League Wrestling saying that Jim Cornette joins the broadcast team.
No. Just keep him away from wrestling. Oh well.
Like
he's just like Vince McMahon. He's so out of touch with today, man.
They switch him around a lot, but like I said, when you had the Tony Schiavone and Matt Striker together, that was such a great team.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tony Schiavone does great play-by-play, and Matt Striker, while he does play-by-play normally, does great color commentary.
Oh, Matt Striker is great on in that position.
He can add so much more psychology, even more so than what the wrestlers are doing.
He also, I'm pretty sure, he was on commentary with Michael Cole one time for Raw, and he had the earpiece in, and he hated it because of Vince talking in his ear, telling him what to say. And it's just like, oh, wow, Matt Striker's. I think he's like Taz. They're on different levels of the business. Yeah, we can get in. We don't have to get into Taz completely. But I'm just saying, in his
that
prime,
negative reaction was just me thinking, oh man, Jim Cornette. Then they have all the people from Mexico. It's gonna. There's so much flippy style.
There is a lot of flippy style.
Oh my god.
Oh, just look at the Bandito. And who else was there?
I don't think
Ray Phoenix. Maybe not Bandito, but La Park.
Yeah.
El Hijo
de
La Park.
Hijo de La Park.
Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, you have. You just said his earlier. Gringo Loco.
Gringo Loco.
It's so funny with them having to try to.
His name is Airwolf. One would think he does aerial stuff, just like Aerostar.
One would assume.
Yeah, so
it was funny. The commentary team trying to explain his nickname of like why he's called the Base God, and it's like it's that because the person in Mexican wrestling, there's the person who's called the Base. Who's the one who has all the stuff done to him? The flippy stuff.
The guy's catching everybody.
Yeah, the catching and allowing them to like rotate and flip off of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it doesn't make sense in a kayfabe setting. Mm-hmm. So them having to try to like stretch to say like why he's called the Base God. I don't know. I never seen him actually call himself the Base God, but they do. And they have to try to explain it without breaking kayfabe, and it's pretty funny. I don't think Jim Cornette can do that.
Nah, probably not. Well, yeah, I guess that's a.
Oh, jeez, and he was already at that filming too.
Oh boy. Well, that downer.
At least
moment,
there's a mute button.
Yes, that downer moment is good enough to end the show for here, so we can get into our other thing we're doing in a little while.
Yeah, you should always check that out as well.
Yeah. So, you ready to sign out?
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to give us those sexy, sexy likes.
And the unsexy ones.
And what DJ forgot to say last week, share to all of your friends.
And enemies.
And if you really like what we do, please hit that subscribe button down below so that way you are a part of the Smarky family. And then ring that notification bell because...
you want to get notified for when we go live. We go live for our podcast shooting with the Smarky family every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time. We also go live for WWE pay-per-views and also pay-per-views outside WWE. Mm-hmm. Like, we're definitely going to try to get live for Double or Nothing. And even other ones like Impact or New Japan when we can. And then you just also get notified for when we put out videos in general. Like, we're going to put out a video today, like we said before, about our review of Fighting With My Family.
Yes, we are.
So you get notified for whenever that happens or any other news from us.
Yeah, and like we've been saying, we really appreciate everything, whenever y'all come in, subscribe and all that helps us keep going, and it's a lot of fun. So follow me on Twitter. Again, he messed this up too. Follow me on Twitter at IsaJ_STP.
Follow me on Twitter at Liam_SWA. And since you're talking about it, you want to say follow him at...
Yeah, follow him at DJ_SEL. Oops, did I leave something out? Follow DJ at DJ Code_SEL. Yeah. That's the show. Come back in a little while to watch our review. And until next time, it will be awesome.
Oh, wait.
Don't forget to say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.